G'day everyone, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, I want to show you guys one simple exercise that can instantly improve your balance. It's not a gimmick, it's not a trick, it's just one really fantastic exercise that has a really crucial and fast acting effect on one of the, hidden aspects of poor balance. So I want to show you that today. So when we talk about balance, basically, we generally think of three things. We know that balance is basically made up of your vision, which obviously your ability to see is important. Also your inner ear, which is your vestibular system, which sort of gives you a sense of up and down. And then the third thing we often see is that your proprioception is a really important feature of good balance. Now, proprioception is basically your brain's ability or your body's ability to understand where you are in space. It's your joint position sense. So I know that if I turn my head, that my thumb is up, I know that my thumb is down, without having to look or cheat. I've got that sensation that returns from these joints that tells me where I am in space. And from a balance perspective, the proprioception, the vestibular system, and your vision are the three things that often integrate together to allow us to balance successfully. And often, traditionally, what we look at if your balance is poor, we're trying to address those three things to give you that sort of uplift across the board and make things feel better long term. But one of the things that I find clinically is that if your ankles are stiff, so if your ankle joints are restricted, they're not moving as well as they should, tends to short circuit some of that sort of inherent joint position sense, or at the very least, it turns your leg and your foot, this whole structure, from a really mobile, sort of maneuverable structure to more of a stiff one. So we know it's harder to balance on like a peg leg than it is with a foot that can sort of maneuver and go with the flow depending on where you are and what you need when you're walking and when you're standing. So one of the things I find clinically, and the exercise that I find fantastic for very quickly freeing up an ankle and also instantly improving your balance, which is the purpose of the video today, is using a band. And essentially what we want to do is, if you have a power band, again, they're probably 20, 25 bucks on Amazon. I'll leave a link in the description if you want to pick one up. But all you need basically is something to secure it to. Now, I'm at beautiful Lake Tahoe at the moment. I'm on the beach, so there's not really anywhere to secure it to. So I basically made up a makeshift thing that's definitely going to move if I put too much pressure on it. So, but the idea basically is you want to secure the band to something that's not going to move, and we want to get you to place that around your ankle, just above the joint itself. Now, the other thing I should say too before I get into this is make sure that you get a strong sense of how your balance feels before and afterwards. So I made a commitment during this video that I was going to do most of it on one foot, just to hopefully show you what's possible and what can change from doing this. But if you do some balance for about 30 seconds beforehand, I think the average adult should be able to balance for about 30 to 36 seconds on one foot without any problems. But do that first, then do this exercise. We're going to do it for a minute or two, probably less in this video, but I get you to do it for more than a minute or two. And we're going to recheck your balance again, and you should feel instant improvements in terms of how shaky you feel, how smooth it feels, and obviously how mobile your ankle feels at the same time. So you should feel like you can get a bit more range out of that straight away. So again, back to the exercise, you want to secure it to something that's not going to move. You want to place it just above your ankle bones. Now for me, how I like to do this is you want to stretch it as far as you feel comfortable without moving the thing that's attached to. The ankle that you're trying to stretch goes back, front foot goes forwards, out in front, and then we want to bend that back ankle as far as you feel comfortable. So we're not squatting down, we're shifting our hips past the ankle, and we're just bending the knees a little bit to feel like there's some band tension or some pressure at the back of that ankle down the bottom. Now you won't be able to see this from the side, but essentially if I switch over here, we want to make sure that that ankle and that knee don't dump inwards, because you will go further into the stretch. We want to keep you out in a rotated position with your foot straight. So essentially I'm in the same position here, bending that ankle, and we're going to stay here for about 30 seconds for the purpose of this video, but I'll get you guys to do it for a little bit longer at home. And then we're going to recheck your balance afterwards, and we want to see an immediate change in how easy it feels. One of the important things about this exercise is a lot of people tend to have the band below the ankle bones, and anatomically and functionally that makes the most sense, because the roll, the slide and the glide of that tibia over the top of the foot sort of slides that back. So we need to pull underneath that to sort of encourage that natural movement of the ankle. But for some reason, what I find is when we're above the ankle and in this position that's restricted, it tends to do a better job of freeing up where that capsular stiffness tends to be in a lot of people. So again, we want to stay here for as long as possible. Again, you can change sides if you want to, but then the whole point of this is once you've done that, you should feel like when you stand again, you instantly have better balance than you did before. And again, it's not going to cure the vestibular issues, it's not going to make your vision any better, but it will make your mobility and your proprioception a little bit better, which can have a huge impact, a huge instant impact on your sort of instability or those balance issues. Again, it works for people of all ages. So if you know anyone who might be in their 50s, 60s, and 70s who's having some balance issues, make sure that you show them this video, get them a band so that they can work on this gently and hopefully help them sort of improve their balance very quickly. Ankle stiffness is easily one of the most common modern complaints that we see in a lot of people, and this is generally because we walk around in flip-flops or thongs, depending on where in the world you are, but also because we tend to wear a lot of heeled shoes. And that type of footwear often sort of robs us of a lot of our inherent ankle mobility, which can have a profound effect on our mechanics, one of which is decreasing our ability to balance. So again, that's just a quick version of the ankle stretch. You can do it for as long as you need to. Just keep rechecking your balance to make sure that it's getting better, and then let us know in the comments how you're going. It's always important, again, if you found this video useful, let me know in the comments. I need to make sure that these videos are helping people. It's the whole reason why we're putting them out. Let me know with a like as well. And obviously, if you're happy to subscribe to this channel, that'd be fantastic as well. But again, it's a very simple exercise. It may not be very interesting to some, but I implore you to try it, because it doesn't matter how old you are, there's a fair chance there's going to be some ankle stiffness there that you didn't realize. Freeing it up quickly with a band is a great way to instantly improve that balance. So hopefully that was helpful, and then I'll see you in the next one.